Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
I know we're all supposed to be despondent about the Vikings, but I'm despondent about the future of golf.
Well, let me first say that the Vikings despondent. I couldn't be happier than a pig in slop.
It's a contrarian.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, yes, he is.
It's really fun. But yes, well, what we discovered about Bryson, Joe, is that he hits it so far that he can hit it in the rough and still get to the greens. You know, he didn't hit any fairways, and he wins it in the walk because he's so far down there. All he's got to do is take out a 63-degree wedge and hack it out of the grass, and it doesn't bother him a bit.
Well, couple things. Roger Maltby, who I love dearly,
Yes.
and who I think really misses his buddy Johnny Miller.
Yes.
But so they said, Raj, what do you think of this? Meaning this incredible performance we're witnessing. And Maltby desperately wanted to be candid, but he probably also wants to save his job.
Sure.
He said, golf was never designed to take fairways out of play.
Yes. Oh, so I gave up when he was going to win it, but I didn't. He and I have the same thought then, right?
And but he modified his remarks and he said, "I'm growing to like this. I find it very interesting." But what I think he was really saying is, what the hell is this monster doing? There's no need to have fairways when he plays.
No, unless he hits it behind a tree.
McIlroy said basically the same thing. He again was being charitable, congratulated him on all this, and he said, you can't. This is not the way you win a U.S. Open.
No,
it was shocking to the world's best players, among whom is now Bryson DeChambeau. It was shocking what he did because he just if it's a 375-yard hole. He's going to, and like you said, even if he's in the rough, he's going to chip on. He's going to get birdie or par.
Yeah, he's going to hit a little wedge up there. Yeah. Here's my thought. I always talk about when they tiger-proofed the golf course over tried to tiger-proof the golf course over in Spain. And Sergio had them grow rough in the middle of the fairway from 290 to 310, right? I think what you're going to have to do is start having 4 inches of rough like they have at the U.S. Open to about 310 yards, and then grow weeds the rest of the way. Grow weeds right up to the sand traps. You're gonna have to make it. You're gonna have to make it 8 inches so they can't find their ball. Otherwise, he's made golf courses obsolete.
Yeah, absolutely. The conventional golf course, as we know it, is no longer needed.
And Harding Park, he was in contention. He played okay. They had more dog legs and stuff, trees and stuff like that made it a little funkier for him. But he just basically overpowered Winged Foot, which is supposed to be
very hard to do.
Great tests of golf, and nobody else could do it. But he's not. Plus, his whole jargon when he's talking to his caddy, I feel sorry for his poor caddy. He's got to pretend like he knows what the hell he's talking about when he's talking angles and degrees. And I saw the caddy give him the wrong wedge that one time. He said 57, and he said that's a 63 when he gave him the wrong club or something. But I don't know what becomes of it. But that's a wonderful quote from Roger Maltby because he's saying succinctly what I was trying to say, that when you don't have to hit fairways and you can still win the U.S. Open in a walk, and nobody else shot a low number, right? So what do you do to because I always said, okay, these fairways that kind of slope towards the greens, that you got to hit the middle of them.
Yep.
Well, he don't care.
No.
He just hits it down there as far as he can and goes and finds it.
He was 6 under. Matthew Wolff was even, and the rest of the field was over par.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's how tough Winged Foot was.
Well,
I think he showed up knowing he could do this too, don't you?
Yeah. Here's the other thing I wonder. Tiger probably created legions of monsters that he created. They saw this fit young guy who was an incredible athlete, and the next time you turned around, they were all flat-bellied. Nobody was smoking. They're all in gyms.
Yes, right.
They're all working out. Now, what in God's name is this guy? Are they all going to be 400 pounds from now on and use a telephone pole to hit the ball?
I wonder if weightlifters are going to become the new. Basically, these are the guys we've seen for 20 years on the ESPN long driving contest.
Yes.
These Blutos that just hit it as far as they can and try to keep it in the fairway. But even in the long driving contest, you have to keep it on the field, else it doesn't count, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. The game's in trouble. There's no doubt about it when they're hitting it this far. And I can't imagine many people getting that large and being able to emulate him. Of course, nobody ever emulated Tiger, really. They did physically and everything, but it took him a long time to catch up with him. He was the best player in the world for 15 years. But, I mean, it's I don't know how you beat him unless it's a tree-lined golf course.
The other thing we've been taught all our lives about golf is free your mind, empty your mind.
Yeah,
don't have any thoughts.
Yeah,
don't have any. This guy said, one of his quotes was, "The more information I get, the better it is for me."
Yes. And how about a 180 from Dustin?
Yeah.
I mean, here you have this guy who's a mathematician, statistical genius taking on a guy who says, okay, I think I'll hit a 180-yard wedge right up there. But, Dustin came back, played pretty good, ended up tied for 6th. But, man alive, this is something.
DeChambeau hit a 224-yard 8-iron.
Yep.
What is this?
No. And I saw that, I was watching, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't him. But somebody was in the rough, 215, and, pretty good in the rough, and said, give me the 9.
Yeah.
What the hell? What is, it's...
I don't get it.
It's unfortunate that we can't celebrate this guy. What's he going to do on a normal golf course?
I don't know.
I think you're going to have to. The USGA is probably having a big meeting today trying to figure out what they're going to do. But in Augusta, I mean, what he might do to Augusta is unbelievable. Although Augusta, even though the rough is not an issue, you can hit it behind trees easier than you could at Winged Foot, I think. So.
Does this eliminate any future Corey Pavins? What's his name? Corey Pavin.
Corey Pavin.
You remember the shot of his life at Shinnecock when he won the
about
Open? It was a fairway wood.
Yeah, fairway wood of jumping up there about 2. I don't even know if it was 200. It might have been 190.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Or is it like baseball where it's a juiced ball? Are we using juiced ball?
Well, they do have juice balls.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, I mean, but the ball keeps, everybody's playing the same one, and the ball keeps getting better and better. And Jack has always complained about, a lot of them have complained about the ball. But I think it's, Jim Cott talking about home runs with us last year, all the home runs. Everybody talking about the juice ball, but the bat is now like a stick of dynamite. It's just a rock. They break 2 bats a year instead of 2 a week. Mm-hmm. And same in golf. The instrument and the ball is better, and now the athletes are better, and it's You know, you can. What do they say, Joe? They've added like 400 yards of Wingfoot since the last time they were there.
Mm-hmm. Didn't make any difference.
No,
not to him.
No. Yeah, it was. I wonder if the youth will be fascinated by this guy.
I don't know.
I mean,
just because he's a big.
Big, hit it 100 miles and go.
He takes too long, too. He takes too long to play.
Well, that's because he's coming up with.
He's got to read 15 documents before each shot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
God,
it is. It'll be. You know, he was the first good player a year ago, not this year, to commit to the 3M Open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Hollis did not get him back this year, and it'll probably get very difficult to get him back. But I think he is the kind of guy that on the weekly events he shows up for is going to draw crowds when they start letting people back on, because they're going to want to go, ooh, look at that.
What kind of reception would New York crowds have given to him and Wolf with that little curtsy he does? I got to think you would have heard some of the funniest stuff of your life.
Yeah, they would have been ready for them.
Hey, Alice. Your sister play.
Beth Page, man.
Oh, yeah.
I never had so much fun in my life. They were teasing Sergio about his waggles. They were counting the waggles on the sideline. And then who was he dating? He was dating the tennis. Martina, the tennis, Hingis, right?
Hingis, yeah.
Hingis, and they were, hey! Somebody yelling at him. Some tennis player was better looking than Martina, you know.
Rookie and Chris, you have that on the board. You have that fan from New York on the board talking about Sergio.
Yeah.
Do a search under Sergio.
Okay, gotcha.
Or just go to the sports page on the board.
It's all been wiped out.
But
you haven't been in the building in a while.
They absolutely drove him nuts. I mean, he was like, Hale was there I told you last week, 1984. Wingfoot, first time I saw taunting on the golf course. I hadn't seen drunken college students yelling crap at golfers before that 84 when they.
Who won it on the 84? I know Hale Irwin won it in 74. Fuzzy won it.
Fuzzy beat Norman, remember? Hale Irwin was a defending champ, and they were chanting "play white balls" at him till the point that he was playing the yellow balls, and then. Remember, Fuzzy waved the towel of surrender, and then Greg Norman hit it over the bleachers, and they ended up in a playoff, and Fuzzy beat him the next day, right?
Hey, Sergio, you know, Venus kicked Martina's ass.
Yeah, Venus kicked Martina's ass.
That was it, yeah.
Very clever New York fan,
They were on him, though. The real fans were on him about Martina, too, when he was... when he was counting his waggles. And, of course, that was Monty when they told him what impressive breasts he had every time he got to it.
Give me the ball. Autograph the ball for me.
Yeah, you're all right.
Cheney sucks. How about that payout, though? 2.25.
Yeah.
Where is golf going to stop?
Hell, who'd I see? Dustin finished tied for 6 and got 440, I think. Yeah, there was about 3 of them there.
Dustin, well, the runner-up got over $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew Wolf, 1.35. Your Oosthuizen.
Where's the money come from? Because the TV ratings aren't that good.
I don't know.
The world, I think, is probably forgetting about Eldrick. But what do you think he thinks when he watches this? You know? Eldrick, he's sad-eyed Eldrick out there, man, hitting it, having to hit a 3-wood to keep it, because if he gets it in the rough, he can't hack it out of the rough like this guy.
And he's strong.
Can.
He's strong. Nobody's as strong as this guy.
Man, he looks sad. He looks sad.
With the sad eyes.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. What was Ricky Fowler's problem? He fell down.
He's a fraud.
Not very good.
He's a fraud.
Okay.
Well, he's got the pole vaulter to worry about now, too. Yeah. She's probably
That'll
distracting.
Take your mind off of golf.
Allison Stocky, I believe, isn't it?
We all understand.
Oofta. She would have been very high draft choice in the World Pole Vault League, the WPVL that you and I were going to start.
Yep.
Yes, it would have been. It would have.
Well,
that
just
was back in the day where a guy could occasionally utter a chauvinistic comment, but you don't want to be doing that anymore.
No. But just think of all these great players who are small. Justin Thomas. I don't know what's wrong with Jordan Spieth. He's disappearing from the face of the earth.
Yeah, but he'd be giving this guy 100 yards. 100.
I mean, Roy McIlroy, you go find his comments. He was struggling. He said, I can't, I'm shocked. I can't believe what I saw.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that a guy was going to win the Open here without hitting fairways, I would have said, not a chance. No way. Not a chance.
Yep.
And all these guys are completely smaller than DeChambeau.
And this is a guy who, with the greatest power form of any golfer, even more so than Tiger because he's smaller than Tiger, Rory had the greatest approach to hitting a ball 300 yards of anybody. And now he's, playing with this guy and saying, no, nothing I can do.
Right. It's amazing.
But the other thing about Rory is he can't putt.
No, and that's the other thing DeChambeau can. He can putt.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing he's brought to golf: hitting the ball straight. Mm-hmm. Everybody either hits a little fade or a little draw, one of the two. He hits it. They said the one ball that he hit, like 330 or something, was 4 feet off dead center when it landed. It had never moved more than 4 feet. So he just did it. He hits it straight, which is, he hits it where he aims it. He doesn't have to. That's the thing, I hit some very nice 180, 200-yard drives, but they only went 110 because they were going sideways, right?
Yep.
If he hits it 360, it goes 360.
That's right.
Because it doesn't have to draw, it doesn't have to fade.
So I was listening to something in Q. Did you guys mention Danny Lee at all?
No.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
So, Ruck, you're going to love this. So he's lining up for a 4-foot par. I think he's still an amateur. I don't think he's anyway, he missed it.
Yeah.
Goes about 1.5 feet past the hole. Lines up, tries to get it back, misses again.
No.
9. He ended up getting a 9 after his initial putt was for par. He missed it about.
He just melted down.
I think
then.
a couple of them were a little intentional because he got frustrated with himself.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm
Did that happen to Ernie Els once at the Masters?
Did you missing
Putted
little
about
tiny
6
one?
or 7 times.
Do you have the sports section from the Star
Yes, I do.
Trombone? I got to read this.
I got to show Rookie this video.
Where did I put my glasses? Oh, I got them on.
There's the safety man.
I usually have them laying on the
Where are
floor
my
in front of me.
glasses?
Where the hell are my
They're on your
glasses?
face.
Feeling around. And he,
Jason Day asked, what is the toughest stretch of Winged Foot?
I saw
Walking
this.
to the first tee. You have to play the 18 holes. He
Right.
said. Pretty good quote from another guy who's been made obsolete.
Yep. That's the thing. Justin Thomas is obsolete. Roy McIlroy is obsolete. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Now this guy he'll hit it so wild some weekend. He's only, how many times he won this year? 2?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's won a handful of times.
We can root against him. So
oh my God, he just gave up.
I'm
I just saw
showing
the video.
Rookie the video.
And when he just basically he had effort putts. 2 or 3 effort putts. He's putting like me. Effort. I don't care if it goes in.
you don't see the guys give you that public meltdown anymore, which used to be the great part of golf. When, as I always said, I used to throw my clubs until I figured out I should do that when I hit a good shot in celebration. Did I bring this one back of my brother's great comment when I was playing with me one day? Did I already tell this one?
I don't think so.
Where it was Pat Thompson and my brother were teamed against Augie and I out at Edenvale, which is now Bent Creek. And I'd missed a couple 3 short putts and took my putter and threw it up, whirly-birded it up, and it went in this tree, way up in this tree, like 30 feet up, a big tree over the green. And they were all looking up there, and Michael said, Pat, that one ain't coming down. We're in trouble now.
Yeah, you did tell us.
Yeah, because he's gonna have to use something else to putt with, and
That's when I told you I was using Denny Lean's club to throw him in the tree trying to get my putter.
That's a friendship when a
Yeah,
guy
it is.
lets you use his clubs to throw him in the tree.
Oh, he woke up and said, "What? Wait a minute. What are you doing? Those are mine."
This isn't working out.
How's Lean doing? I haven't seen him in years.
I've talked to him this summer. I haven't seen him, but he's great. He's great.
Is he over in Wisconsin, or where's he at?
Lake Elmo area.
Is he playing golf or not?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He had those babies late in life, though. He had to kind of change his behavior, right?
No, they only got the one.
Oh,
kid.
okay. But came along. You want to get him out of the way young. Damn it.
No,
That's right.
As a guy that had his kids a little bit later, I think that's the right.
Okay,
That's the
all
right move.
Oh, okay.
That's the right move.
What are you going to do about your Vikings, Patrick?
Laugh.
You're rubbing off on me, by the way. I told you this earlier, but I was howling in my living room yesterday watching that game.
Oh, God. Well, I said this earlier, but Paul Allen is a very successful local radio host, mid-mornings on KFXN, tears it up.
Yep.
He's the greatest panderer to his audience I've ever heard. He's wonderful as far as sports is concerned. But listening to him on the radio in the fourth quarter of a game where the Vikings are getting their ass kicked, pretty hard not to giggle. Pretty funny, I'll tell you that, because his suppressed depression is pretty hysterical. It's trying to somehow maintain all his friendships while telling us. Just giving us a minor hint as to how bad they reek is pretty good. But this quarterback, Joe, they have him on the hook for, Judd came up with these numbers.
$76 million, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how much is guaranteed, but if they were to let him go at the end of this year, the cap hit next year, $31 million.
Wow.
So they can't do that. Then the year after that, $20 million. And it isn't until the third year of the new deal. By the way, he had a year left on his contract, so he's got 3 more years. And then the third year it would be $10 million. So the idea that you're going to tank for Trevor and have this guy costing you $30 million, woofda.
But that's if they cut him, correct? They could trade him, and I don't think.
Well, who in God's
want him?
name is
Yeah.
going to trade for him?
We'll
He's a
find somebody.
journeyman. At best, he's a journeyman.
Oh, God.
Isn't he? I don't mean to
I
be
don't know.
uncharitable.
I tell you what, garbage time Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. His quarterback rating is 12 for the first 3 quarters and 120 for the fourth.
Well, what was your stat that Chris Long had?
Chris Long said that if you spike the ball on every play, you have a passer rating of 39 because you don't throw any interceptions. His was 15 yesterday.
Without fans and off to an 0-2 start, I just find it very easy
Yes.
to just not pay much attention. Well, plus yesterday I was more interested in golf than I was football.
Yeah, it would be fun, however, to hear the crowd next week if they were home and as Kirk came running into the huddle, we would have. I can't remember the last time we would have heard
Can
something
I
like
order
that.
one of those cardboard cutouts of me booing Cousins? Can I do that? Is that allowed to do?
That noise.
Carson Wentz got booed in Philadelphia, and there was nobody in the stands. So
Yeah.
the kid running the radio is going to be in trouble.
Oh, did he? Did he
Yeah.
Oh, when he threw that stupid interception down there at the bottom back.
Boy, what happened to him, by the way?
He's a very wonderful physical athlete, but I think he throws a lot of dumb passes.
But is it the knee injury? Because before he hurt his knee, he was doing
Running
really
around
good.
a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is, but it is to see grown adults. I mean, this is not like 22-year-old college kids upset that the Gophers lost to Wisconsin. These are like 60-year-old successful people who let these guys, the Vikings, cause the misery, which I find hysterical. As we say, Joe, you and I can both agree on this. Anybody who tells you they love the Vikings, you can just say that's because you haven't met them. But although not as bad now as they were, I mean, they're fairly good. How about Stephon Diggs, though? They let him go, and he's killing it up in Buffalo, of all places. So I don't know. It's
Did I see, by the way, Chipper covered both the game in Indy, and he went to the Notre Dame football game?
Yeah, he was well, he was in Wrigley on Friday night, Chip, and then he went to South Bend yesterday to see a game Saturday. with they let 2,500 fans or 5,000 into Notre Dame Stadium for a 56-0 rout of South Florida, and then he went to Indianapolis. Yeah, Indianapolis had some fans too, right?
2,500, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
5,000
I can't remember
so.
exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic. Did you see Zim's quote though?
Well, I can imagine. I
This
can guess
is one
what
to
it was.
write down.
Yeah.
I told the team we can't start winning until we stop losing.
Oh, there
That's
you go.
Denny Green like.
Yes. Yeah, except when Denny was saying that stuff, he was just doing it to see the confused looks on our faces. I think Zim thought it had carried some meaning. So
Well, now they got an undefeated. Who's coming to town? Tennessee.
Tennessee, who's
But they're
okay,
2-0.
they're not great, but they're okay. But they got a great story. This Ryan Tannehill was like a kick-around quarterback that they benched their number one draft choice Mariota last year and let him start playing, and he ended up taking him to the conference final. He played great, and now he's playing good.
I think that when you don't do things you want to do, either I'm not teaching it the right way, or it's not understood the right way, or we're not able to do it the right way.
Got it. Okay, I got it. That
Okay.
makes perfect sense to
that
me.
makes that makes more sense than what Zim said yesterday. But that's
Well, we have no evidence to think they're going to beat Tennessee.
oh God, no, they're 1.5 point underdogs at home, and that seems modest. I got a hunch if you watch the number this week, it'll probably go up.
Has
from
the
that.
has the betting line? Do they still give 3.5 points for the home team, even though there's no fans?
I bet they give less, probably, maybe just a couple.
Because
or
there is
something.
no advantage for playing at home.
No, there's not. No. That's although as A-Rod said
Oh boy.
yesterday, you're just more comfortable playing at home. That's why the Twins don't want to play in Yankee Stadium, according to A-Rod, because they're just more comfortable at home. That right field fence that's 280 feet away might have something to do with it too. A-Rod, you dummy. God, is he a dummy?
Are they going to end up playing the Yankees?
Yep.
Oh,
Pretty
my
well
word.
a given. Pretty well a given. If they run the table, and so if they go 5-0 on this last homestand, and the Yankees lose once, then the Yankees would have to come here. They'd still be big underdogs, but not as huge underdogs as they're going to be in Yankee Stadium, just because of the geography of the place. Yankee Stadium is so easy to hit home runs that. I don't know. What'd you think of our third baseman telling us that all the umpires, none of the umpires try, and they just want to get the game over with? Donaldson, that's going to play well with the.
He keeps digging himself a deeper hole.
Yes, he had himself a nice hole. He hits a home. You know what? If I'm a ball player and the umpire gives me a bad pitch and I hit the next one a screaming line drive home run, I'm happy as a clam, man. I just run back to the dugout and say, "What do you think of me now?"
Yeah.
Instead of kicking dirt all over the place. What a rocket.
10-week football season begins
Yes.
September 28 with 6 regular season games. The postseason is yet to be determined. This is the Minnesota State High School League
They will,
reporting.
if you keep advancing, you can play 10 games. Then I would imagine you play a 6-game season. By the way, not giving them a lot of time to prepare here, right? You start practicing on the 28th, which is what day of the week?
No, the season begins September 28.
Yeah, but that's not a game. That's practice. The first games are October 9th or 10th.
The 28th is a week from today.
Yeah, okay. So
there's
okay,
only going to be
week
6
from
games
today.
in the regular season.
6 games in the regular season.
4
and
weeks of playoffs?
They're going to have to trim the number of teams in the playoffs that are actually, competing for the championship. They will probably let these other schools who don't make the tournament keep playing games if they want to on their home fields. But let's see, 6 weeks has got us to the middle of November. I don't think there's a lot of. If you got a 1-5 team that doesn't make the tournament, and it's now Thanksgiving weekend and it's 23 degrees, they probably don't want to play any more games. So
No.
anyway,
They're also gonna
volleyball
start
too is
volleyball,
starting
yeah.
up, yeah, and which it was always ridiculous to not play volleyball, but they were basing that on. They said indoors is more risky than outdoors, except
they're all together
I think they
anyway.
were just doing it because they they killed off football, and they wanted to kill off a women's sport too to make it look more equitable. So,
Well, here's what I always want to know when something like this happens. What's different today than a month ago? What's different?
In college football, they're saying this instant testing now, right, is much better. Well, you think the high schools in the state of Minnesota can afford daily testing? I don't think so.
Ain't no money in the budget for that, I can tell you right now.
There's nothing. There's nothing as far as the high schools are concerned. There's nothing different except everybody around them is playing. And I don't know. They're saying that there's 1,700 positive tests in high school athletics around the state of Minnesota, but no hospitalizations or anything because they're youth. So I don't know. Hey. Nothing's really changed. It's just that everybody else is doing it, so they decided to start playing.
Is tonight the first game in the new Vegas stadium?
Yes, which would be kind of sad that they're not letting anybody in Nevada.
I don't
right?
believe so.
Is that an open stadium?
No,
That's
I don't think so.
It's covered. It's got enough glass where it appears as though it'll let sunshine in. I drove by it back in December.
It's not retractable, huh?
No, I don't.
So for $2 billion, you can't get retractable?
Well, I think they specifically didn't want it. They wanted to have it set up similar to U.S. Bank where it had that outside feel to it, but could you imagine playing?
I hate watching on TV those games that are
partial
sunlight and stuff.
That drove me nuts yesterday.
Last night, the Rams game was in the new LA stadium. It drove me crazy.
It's like the old Texas stadium too, where they didn't put the dome on it, and they got those horrible shadows. Where we were watching the game outside. I wasted 3 hours of my life sitting outside watching on the TV. It was even more difficult to see.
Joe, these absolute tremendous edifices that are being built. The one in L.A. cost $2.5 billion, I think, the stadium. And Kroenke paid for most of it, but the Walmart guy. But what becomes of them if sports are never the same after this pandemic is over? What becomes of these places? What becomes of the Twins next year when there's either a limited capacity or 50% of your fan base doesn't want to go to games and sit next to each other?
Or get mugged going downtown to Target Field.
I mean, you're going to have to get a few people in the, you're going to have to get a few security guards in those in the ramps too. So I mean, it's the future of sports in this country is very intriguing.
Well, the answer is how long will the poll ads, just to keep it local, how long will they choose to fund it?
Yeah, well, this year we're going to have a $140 million payroll, which would be an all-time record, because they thought they had a chance to win it. Well, with the amount of money they're going to lose this year, I would guess it'll be closer to 100 next year, and that's stretching it too. I mean, with their projected revenue from what they thought they were going to bring in this year to what they will bring in next year, even if their plan is going to be way, way lower by dozens of millions of dollars.
Because you've lost everything. You've lost ticket revenue. You've lost sponsorships.
Sweets.
Yeah.
Sweets,
How'd you like to try and sell a sweet today?
You got that candy salesman out there, right? He's trying to sell those sweets.
Yeah.
I
knew that's what he thought.
First thing I thought last week, why is he worried about a candy salesman? What a dumbass. God.
That's what you bring. You're like Joey D. That's what you bring to the table.
Blurting.
That's what you bring to the table. That's whatever. Don't think about it. Just say it. That's the secret of your success.
Speaking of that,
like the woman at the like when you're talking to the passengers with Sun Country who have just seen a woman naked from the waist down.
Yes, I saw that yesterday.
You said, you think, I should tell these people we're going to charge extra. And a lot of people would say, don't do that, but you said it.
Do it anyway.
You got to laugh. That's right.
Normally we charge extra for that, but you got a freebie today. So
speaking of
see, you got to just blurt her out.
Yeah. Speaking of blurting and just kind of saying what comes to your mind, our president had a few words about selection of Amy Coney Barrett to replace RBG.
Have we already done that?
Why don't you just take a few minutes take a minute and listen?
Proud to announce that I am nominating very strongly to the Supreme Court for quick approval. They call it confirmation, okay? Amy Coney Barrett, the ACB, okay? You got to know your ACBs. You go to school, you learn that. And she is a dedicated jurist. I thought she was Catholic, but she's jurist. Okay, so happy Yom Kippur. Yeah. Hopefully she has a good Ronald Shana and a great Yom Kippur. Yes, they say she's a jurist, but I think she's also Catholic. So she can do both. You can do both, right, Mike? You go both ways. So we know that. But she's a great judge. It was between her and a very qualified Cuban lady, and I was waiting for the Cuban lady to show up. Amy Coney Barrett showed up and said, "Sir," and I said, "You've got what it takes." She called me sir. So I said, "You're at the top of the list," and she looked good. And she was so strong and sort of well put together. And I was waiting for the Cuban lady, and she never showed up. The only person that showed up was a cleaning lady came in to my office. And I handed her the garbage, and she said, "No, I'm not here for that." And I said, "I don't speak Spanish." And she left. So the Cuban judge, who we thought was going to be a top contender, she never showed up. But Amy Coney Barrett. Okay, and I love the fact that she's got the three names. You know, because I've done tremendous work as president. So many deaths. Okay, so many deaths. 200,000 and counting, by the way. Sleepy Joe didn't do that. And every serial killer has the three names, you know? John Wayne Gacy, John Wilkes Booth, remember him? Lincoln was so weak. Who gets killed by an actor? The liberal, pathetic, vegan actors. They couldn't get me. And Amy Coney Barrett, when she gets rid of Obamacare and all that, she's going to probably have the most deaths of anybody. So we love the three names, strong Catholic jurist, and we'll see what happens.
His previous one this week, this was actually an extra special, but he was complaining about the 1619. You know, he was the 1619. Did you hear that one?
I did not.
And he said, well, I know all about the 1619. My good friend Jeffrey Epstein used to say that the 1619 that they
find it, Reeves.
They are 16, but they look 19.
I just love that he captures this wandering, rambling thoughts that pop into his mind. I got to hear that one.
That
Reeves.
one's a little.
Hands her the trash and says, I don't speak Spanish. I'm not here for that.
I tell you what, if I was running the Democratic National Convention back when they had it, I would have had him.
Featured this guy?
I would have had him do a little send up every night.
All right, I think I found it.
It's last week's.
Here we go.
This one's a little
So yes,
edge.
we're starting the National Commission on Patriotic Education, okay? We're going to get rid of the fake history. We're calling it the 1776 Commission, okay? Because that's when our great country started. Not any other dates that people want to put out there. And believe me, we're going to have such strong education, such great sort of learning. The learning that, you know, kids want to learn. They want to do great learning. Our teachers, some of these are great people. They want to do great teaching. That's when you teach, you do the teaching. But we're not going to have any fake history. So we're going to learn about slavery. We're going to learn the real story about slavery every day after the national anthem, and you're going to stand for it so fast. And after daily prayer, okay, we will play Britney Spears' "I'm a Slave for You," all our schools. And that will teach you sort of an important lesson about slavery. Gosh. Okay, it's not all bad. You know, you can have sort of a sexy dance with a snake that's very sort of historical because it happened many years ago. She's old now, but that was when she was sort of on that. You know, how old is she? I want to make sure before I invite her to a party. So you get it. And history books are going to still be great history books, but we're going to replace all the sort of fake history with the Bill O'Reilly killing series. You're going to learn such great history from that. So those will be the textbooks. And there won't be, no 1619 project. I bet you want that, don't you? You want that. But we're done talking about the 1619 project. It's total fake history. Instead, every school that wants federal funds, okay, I'll take them so fast your head would spin. But if they want our great, strong federal funds, every history department has to have a 16 to 19 project dedicated to Jeff Epstein, my great friend, who was so big into that was the original 16-19 project. He would say, get me some 16-year-olds who maybe look like they're 19 so nobody gets suspicious.
Wow. Yeah. That's, anyway, that was. How do you like our boy up there at Bemidji as he's rambling along, decides to do an ode to Robert E. Lee?
I didn't get that. Yeah.
If it hadn't been for Gettysburg, which, by the way, half the Minnesota troops died at. That was,
they saved Gettysburg.
Yeah, they saved our ass at Gettysburg. That was Robert E. Writing a speech for him must be difficult because I don't think I got a hunch. The original speech had nothing to do with Robert E. Lee, right?
Probably not.
He goes off on a tangent.
It was hysterical. At least we all paused for a lot of reverence for the death of Ruth Ginsburg.
RBG?
RBG. We didn't start arguing, 20, 25 minutes?
I think we waited at least 25
minutes before we started.
She was a hell of a gal, huh? By all accounts. She accomplished quite a bit.
Damn.
Very small woman. Very small.
Yeah, I was telling.
Small.
I wonder if she was a good baker like Marjorie, because she reminds me of Marjorie.
Yeah, size. She's not a big gal.
No, but Marjorie hanging in there. Way to go, Marjorie. Way to go, man.
Yeah.
How about our guy? Speaking of older folks, how about our guy Sid? The other day, he lauded Kevin Warren, the former Viking president and the new commissioner of the Big Ten, who couldn't have screwed up the whole football thing more if he tried. He lauded him for his absolute astute leadership in the Big Ten. And I said, man alive, 74 years in the business, and Sid has finally gotten into parody. He's finally throwing out a little sarcasm.
Well, we were talking about how long the Viking season might be this year because they're not going to be a very good team.
Anthony Barr or what?
Anthony Barr is out for the season with a torn pectoral muscle. So you not only do you not have your best defensive player in Danielle Hunter, you just lost your second best defensive player.
You think so? I think Kendricks is better.
Well, yeah, probably.
Although Kendricks missed a lot of tackles this year.
But that's not good for a team that, boy.
No. You know what? That always sounds like it hurts, doesn't it, Joe? I don't have pectoral muscles, but if I did, I don't think it'd like to be torn.
Right.
It'd be very uncomfortable.
I'd want them intact.
It'd be tough to breathe.
Yes. That game, by the way, as vicious as that game is, the number of people that have gotten hurt in the first 2 weeks is unprecedented. Mm-hmm. San Francisco, which has got a great team, basically got wiped out yesterday. Their two best defensive linemen. They got the quarterbacks hurt. Who else got hurt? One of their other big-time players.
Mostert, the running back.
Yeah, Mostert, who's came out of nowhere last year and was fantastic. They basically got wiped out yesterday.
Who's this Chargers quarterback that almost beat Mahomes at his own game?
He was a transfer from LSU.
I can't remember.
Went up to Oregon, I believe. And I know he went up to Oregon and had a great career up there, but he wasn't he was kind of a earlier pick than people thought, but he's a big, strong-looking dude. I think he started at LSU and transferred when they went to Joe Burrow, but I might be wrong.
He took that game went to overtime, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Before Kansas City won.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Pat, I'm seeing he played 4 years at Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he transferred.
I did too, but I
Well, he might have transferred without using up any
When he was
eligibility.
still a freshman,
I don't know. Maybe
sure.
I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm not an expert on college.
But
football.
didn't he beat Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl? Didn't they play Wisconsin last year in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah,
The
was
Oregon
it last
Ducks.
year?
I think
don't
so.
know. I can't remember. Hey, the great thing about college football this year is, did we get rid of all the second-rate bowl games?
Oh boy, not the Beef O'Brady Bowl.
I don't know if we're going to play all the second-rate bowl games or not.
That was always my favorite part of
Because
being
the
on-
regular season gets over so damn late that.
My favorite part of the old days on the radio was when we would carry all the bowl games, and Joe would ask, "What the bleep is the Beef O'Brady Bowl?" I don't know, Joe, but it's on right here.
The shopping center that's near the tiny little condo in Fort Myers has a Beef O'Brady's in it.
Really?
But I haven't gone in yet. It's kind of a modestly priced sports bar type
Yeah,
operation or
it's a
something.
nice chain.
I've
Yeah.
been in that one, Pat.
Really?
Isn't there a hotel right there that we stayed at?
No. That's a different. This
went into
one's-
Beef O'Brady's?
This one's right next to This one is right next to the Publix, where I've had two thrills. Mookie Betts. Saw Mookie shopping before
Sure,
he became
okay.
the wealthiest man in baseball.
Okay.
And Louis Tiant with the unlit cigar that was
Winston Churchill-esque?
it was unbelievable.
Steamboat?
He was famous for his long
Okay.
long cigars, and he came rolling in because he comes to Red Sox workout. He's a special assistant at
Right.
Red Sox.
Is
camp.
that the same Publix that you went to find bananas and then had to tweet out,
Yes.
"What the bleep are these?"
Yeah, I peeled my banana and it was like a rock. Turned out to be a plantain. Never even heard of plantains.
I don't speak
You gotta
Spanish.
boil them, right? Yeah,
I'm not here for that.
I'm like Trump. I don't
speak Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish either. The whole idea, plantain's a potato, right?
I don't know.
It's just you
I don't speak
plant.
Spanish
I don't
either.
know.
Let's look it up.
Instead of getting a plantain, why don't you get a potato? Yeah. What's wrong with a potato?
Well, you're a guy upset because somebody went raspberry picking.
Yes, I am.
They're a member of the banana family.
Yes, yeah, but they're very, very different.
They need to be cooked, though. They need to be cooked
Yes.
before eating.
They need first of all, to get the peeling off them, you need a hatchet to get the peeling.
I
It's a
need a
peeling.
plantain peeler.
Hey, I got a question for you. You're kind of a nursery guy. You're kind of a growth in the yard. You monitor
I can't wait to see what he's
trees
talking
and
about.
stuff, right?
Me?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, let's go to the nursery, get some
So
mums.
here's
Not
the
really,
deal.
but
Here's
You
the
like,
deal.
you
Maybe-
like a nice lilac.
maybe
I like a good tree.
Yeah, okay, so we got rid of this silver maple piece of crap that we had, with the roots that are above
yeah,
ground,
yeah.
and they drop all this crap.
Helicopters, yeah.
Not heli, the little red beads.
Yeah,
that,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
we got rid of that. Cost me $2,000, but we got rid of it. This is about 8 years ago. So we planted this tree that we spent $1,000 for the tree, so it had some growth to it. And this thing is a wonderful tree.
Yep.
And usually, for 7 years, the leaves have been hanging in there till November.
Okay.
All of a sudden, she's starting to change colors already.
Yeah.
And dropping a few leaves. What's the deal? Dryness?
I think you're
Joe,
just
take the
fine.
call.
I,
Go
I
ahead.
think you're going to be good.
No, where's Freddie? We
I
need
think
Freddie.
that could be an oxygen deprivation from the dry conditions in
Yeah.
your backyard.
Where's the producer that
Front
worked
yard,
on
right?
that
The
show?
Front yard.
Where's the producer that worked on that show for 15 years and doesn't know
Doesn't
jack
know.
bleep about it?
I'm very I love that tree because it's a success.
Yeah,
it's a growing
growing,
success.
moving. Yep.
Meanwhile,
What kind is it?
About 2:30.
It's a big. It's a big tree with leaves on it,
Yeah,
but
there
it
you
go.
started as a
Good.
semi-colored
big one.
But it's a very healthy, wonderful tree, and no crap drops out of it. Is the secret?
And Joe,
a
he
crapless
has,
tree.
He has his hands extended to show
Yes.
you
Yes.
the
Like
size
he was
of the
catching
tree.
stuff? Yeah.
Yes, the size of the tree. It's really big like this.
Yes, it's a
big
big, and it's growing, and it's
And
wonderful.
He raises his
and,
hand up as if to grow right
Right
away.
there, right up here. Look at that.
Meanwhile, in the backyard,
Oh, yeah.
we got rid of a bunch of bushy, little
Hedges.
sloppy tree hedges type of
Okay.
thing, and we planted 5 smaller. What do I say?
Right, yeah.
The wife
You're
ordered
out there
them.
with the shovel.
Yeah.
Plant it over there.
Well, 5 of them. I don't know what it costs with little bushes in front of them. And
they're
I
not cheap.
watered. I had a $407 water bill.
Oh my God.
Trying to keep this stuff wet. And one of them deader than a doornail.
Oh.
One of them's, Another one that's very iffy to be back next year.
Looks like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Yeah, one of it's we have not had a lot of luck with planting crap in the backyard.
Well, as long as you didn't water it with pool water that's got chlorine in it, that'll
well, there
kill it
could be
off.
some pool water that's trying to get out and underneath into the roots there. But anyway, pool though, Joe. Let's see, what day is today? Monday. Last Thursday, the Christmas for all pool owners. Closed her up and put the top on her. No bills until next May. That's good. That's good.
So you roll her open next May and go, what is this going to cost me this year?
Yes, right. This year, no big expenses, no major parts.
That's fantastic.
No lawnmowers going through it doing yard work?
No.
Maybe that cleaned her right out.
That worked out good, though, because we got a new liner out of it, and it's in good shape. So anyway, pool, it was a good year for the pool.
The $2,500 dive will never be equated, though. Well worth the price.
That's when we used to be wacky.
That's when we were. That's when you'd set the phone down and jump off the diving board for the show. That was dedication.
That was show prep.
Yes,
and that was
right.
You were egged on by your radio partner that said, "Go ahead and dive in there, will you?"
That was an impressive. I was full figured then too. That was that was a good sized splash.
Half the pool emptied out.
But I love it when right before you made the jump, you gave it the.
And that board was begging for mercy.
Yeah, that board's long gone. That's too risky, man, because somebody makes that long dive, hit their head.
It's an unnecessary risk,
Yeah,
right?
it's much more than a $2,500
Oh
tip.
yeah, it's you don't like that. That's for
I got to go.
Hey, I don't blame you.
B.
B.
Here we go.
Pat's heard that one, hasn't he?
Oh,
What's that?
You know what? I don't
Tell
know if
it-
he
tell
has
it
or
to me.
not. It's a famous soundbite that we use here in GL.
Okay, well you go and
Here
I'll
we go.
listen to the sound.
No, I want to hear your reaction.
Coronavirus, you are going to be quarantined, but you have a choice. Do you A, quarantine with your wife and child, or B,
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is,
I
I'm
don't care.
taking B.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty good. All right. See you
All right,
later.
son.
All right, Sushi boy, see ya.
Yeah, okay.